So if I was to build the same size shop, which is roughly 60 by 60, because it has that offshoot in the front, it's just squared up for 60 by 60. And I just slid it back behind the right-of-way, and I moved it over toward Young Harris to compensate for the driveway coming up through there. And I had a slope coming off the driveway up and over. I'd have to fill in as high as the roof of the shop to meet the grade of this area back here. So it would fill in as high as the deck of the house beside the driveway and over and follow the right-of-way of the D road. Up here would be the corner of the new shop. Way up here, and I'm close to this light pole. Now, they're putting the right-of-way between those garage doors and over here at the back corner of the shop. Okay, I understand those two. And I guess it's coming in this way so the ditch line will meet the stream over here. But what I don't understand is this part right here, because if I cut this corner out this way and fill in over there, there's a ribbon that you can't see. You can barely see the neon cone right there, which is adjacent to this one, this corner, and then there's a cone there, and then a cone under this bank in here, a square. They've got a right-of-way that's at an angle for this slope over there that goes up through here, way up to the top, and over and down at the next driveway. With terraces, slight terraces. See, we have terraces here that you can't see behind the weeds. See, this is a terrace, this is a terrace, and the overgrowth. So, if this is the corner of building a new shop, you can't cut dirt out square. And there's the light pole going to the billboard. And this corner you would have to, if it was 100 feet down, you'd have to slope back and slope back that way. Plus, you can't have dirt against the corner of the building. You would have to have a section and then a ditch and then a slope up. But imagine this being 100-foot deep, cut out. So I've got to excavate this whole part right here. And when Rochester drew the sketch, we were trying to get a wall all the way down this edge to save this area where I could put the shop in here this way. But just to be simple, let's just imagine I just slid it back behind the right-of-way. This is where the same size shop would, this would be a square cutout. So by square, I mean, this would be the corner of the shop if you cut this whole hill out. Then you would have to go that way and that way after you go out, and then because dirt will hold itself up square. So that right-of-way comes by probably, I guess, that light pole down to right there and down to the back corner of the shop for that slope. I'm constantly cutting into that because we're supposed to match our grading to what their slope is, because part of this slope right here will be gone. But if it's gone and I've got it down as low as the roof of the shop, they wouldn't be putting their stakes and taking this right through here, because it will be a low grade, and therefore they wouldn't be putting a slope right here. Now they might be wanting to put a slope on the end, but if I went in sideways this way and took the dirt out that way, they wouldn't have to have the right-of-way up there. They would have it down, 20 foot above the road. 20 foot above the road, which would be like, the height of the shop, all the way up to the next driveway. So, you can see these are terraces. It's just overgrown. So there's a terrace, up, terrace again, up, terrace. So we took all this dirt out. This dirt used to be, let me see if I can find a path. An ant's nest. Ant mound. Anyway, So I got a barrel there. If I have to slide the shop over to compensate this driveway, and plus I'm going to fill in the dirt and I'll have slope in a ditch down to that driveway. So imagine that dirt filled in with the roof of the shop, back tapering into this back here, the deck, roof of the shop, and a slope down to the ditch line, and it would be a corner right there. And then that bleeding, or not bleeding, but tapering into the side of this hill, this would be cut out. So therefore they wouldn't have to have the slope starting right there either. It would need to be further toward Young Harris. So all this material would come out, and it has to go somewhere. Because I can't put it next to the stream over there. I can't put it uphill where it'll fall back down the hill. This has to be exported from site. So with that drone scanning of the ground, it shows existing topography. I would need a proposed elevation or topography of once I cut this dirt out, and that would be how many cubic yards. This would be loaded out with excavators. And I know the guy across the road has so much land over there, he could fill it up indefinitely. With that driveway, they're going to have to fix his driveway off there. It's too steep, it won't work with the new road. Right down the corner of there is some light poles that we used to help him unload equipment. He'd take it off that way. A ramp could be made with a lot of this dirt to get off in there, and a better culvert would have to cross this Butternut Creek for trucks to get over there. So the whole road project could fill in Ronnie Collins' property over there behind the stream and make him a flat site that's elevated. And since I'm across the road, that would be a good place to put this dirt. But it costs money to do this. And this is what I was wanting to discuss back when the road was getting ramped up for the 20th time back in 2012, 13, 14. We were trying to get people to come out here and meet us to show us what they were taking. Show us where the road's going to go. Show us what you're doing here. Show us, because I have places this dirt could have gone. I would have even had to have got rid of it for free if that meant they were going to take all this land, which is my testing area and dirt pit for trucks and equipment. And when you're making payments on trucks and equipment and you've got a dirt pit, you would like to have your dirt to justify your equipment in your business. So it's not something to dismiss. It's very important, because all that dirt we were saving as a reserve. We were going to cut that out and have road frontage property. All this dirt, we were going to cut out all this dirt. Obviously, this dirt used to be even with the back roof of the shop right there, and over to the garage doors, and we kept cutting it back, and then going into the side of the hill this way. Our goal was to eventually get this area down level with the roof of the shop. We were not going to go any deeper because we don't want to go deeper than the stream over here, because there are several spring heads that come out of the ground due to our experience. Catholic church, above the Catholic church, propane place, and behind this ridge right here some storage buildings that are wet at about the height of that stream. So a soil sample, who knows, this could be rock, this could be wet. We were going to go down this way in increments. If we hit a wet spot, we were going to stop, move out, and move down again. So corner of the new shop, if I was to simply slide it back behind the right-of-way and make everything fit. So it would have to go back further and then a slope, further and a slope, but you know, imagine it being down to this grade right here at the shop roof. That's just to fit it. Then I don't have any room for a parking lot. So that's not natural from there up to that little brown building, the stream. There was a mill here, a slaughterhouse, a laundromat. African Americans operated it over 100 years ago for the Young Harris College, which is down the road. And see, there's another terrace I'm stepping on. Imagine that dirt with the roof of the shop back into this hill and the driveway going uphill. I don't want the breakover point to be so steep that a trailer would drag. So I really need to go back that way a whole bunch at this grade. So I'm walking sideways through the overgrowth. So there's that corner of putting the new shop back behind the right of way, which would be the garage doors. Staying away from the driveway, which is up through there. Back corner of the shop. But imagine it being filled as high as that blue truck and that deck right in here. I would cut this out. So my white truck right there. White work truck. That's the right-of-way marker under that truck over to the garage doors like this. But then they jut this way, and there's a right-of-way there because that's just the natural ground that they just want to cut a slope 2 to 1, 2 to 1, without considering I could use that land. That's my dirt pit, because if I cut this out like this, they wouldn't have to have that stake there. So imagine that line going from the white truck to the ribbons right there up to that light pole. I'm encroaching on that when I do my grading because they have not comparatively met what I would be doing. And the misunderstanding also is they didn't know that we had enough land to move our stuff back. So they just drew a generic plan. So white truck, this is that corner of that slope starting going toward Young Harris. Corner of the shop, if I just simply slid it back, would come to here. So basically it would be way over here because I would have to have a shoulder from this corner of the shop to be able to drive around it, a ditch, and then slope away, so I'm way up yonder. And this station is 63 plus 00.22. 263. This is 4. 263. Required right away. So if I cut this dirt out right here, they wouldn't even be putting that there. They would move it back to where like the white truck is. So pretty soon I'm up to here, just fitting the shop in, getting this cut out down level with the roof of the shop. Then that right away would change. And then we've only got from up there back to the billboard. All they would have to do is a 1 to 1 or whatever steepest they, or a short 2 to 1 back, and then 2 to 1, and to put the right of way in line as much as they could, because actually the road moves away as it gets further toward Young Harris from the property. And they could leave most of this and not have to have all that dirt moved. Or I could just let them have all this dirt. This is sandstone. When it's washed down, you know, it's kind of... Anyway, this is too much of a video. I'll make another one that is simpler. Anyway, just to fit the shop, all this has to come out. So I'm going to have a parking lot up here and behind it somehow. For a tractor trailer to come up here, and it's got to have room to turn around and unload the equipment amongst the other equipment. And that's losing the front space by having the building block in the highway side. So I need this up here because our goal was to try to have a heavy equipment business, selling equipment too. But because the road went around, the contractor went around asking people can they dump dirt on their property, they took all my potential future customers. And then in the meantime, so there's corner of the new shop, corner of the new shop, corner of the new shop, corner of the new shop right there by the billboard, up there, or the light pole, to the billboard, just to fit the shop. Of course, I would fill this in his roof high with the roof and down to this driveway. So back in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, as they was gearing up this road, everybody up and down this road heard about the road, and they heard that all the dirt had to be removed. They were waiting to have their property filled in. So this cut my business out. That's why this is overgrown, because I've only slowly been taking dirt up there on that back edge by the billboard, because that's the more clean clay. So I gotta cut all this out, way back further than that light pole, just to fit the shop. And once I do that, all the way back through there, then this right of way that juts up to here would change, because it would be down to this grade. See? I line that up with the roof of the shop. This will be sliced out like this. And then toward Young Harris that way. So I need an engineered site plan showing how much dirt I have to export from the property to show how much money to be paid to make room for my new shop. See that dirt all the way up there? That's just to fit the shop. Then I got to cut out dirt to make a parking lot. So it's a major misunderstanding because I can't move the shop over, because that driveway, there will be a slope this way in a ditch. And under this truck is the right of way from there over to the trash can at the garage doors. And then we've got the problem, this backyard, there's a hole that is left because we're grandfathered in with the house being 8 foot from the stream, and that building 8 foot from the stream. But when they tear the house down, we have to stay 50 foot from it the rest of our life on both sides. So this gap will be left, and I've got a pipe coming out here and a waterfall, and they're coming up to the back corner of the house. Why not just go ahead and pipe that, cut that slope out like this, have a driveway down to the next property, or just actually, if we end up with a turning lane here across from the driveway, they don't have to take up to there to do their slope. They could just go up and then take a little extra dirt, and then whatever they want to do there, and put the right of way right there adjacent to the deck. They don't have to have it way up there. That's just a generic plan. Anyway, that has to be rectified. This water coming out of this little culvert, out of this bank, out of this ditch line right here. Because I did have a pipe in there, but I removed it because we were going to do something different back here. In the stream, we put it back against the thing because the county and state was taking out dirt up through here. And I had a pipe from that brown building out to here to connect to theirs that goes over the road. I could fill in over it for a parking lot and have my space this way, and then some that way, and then bench it out up there. And a hard pipe is better for the environment than the stream carrying off the silt from that bed of that stream back there. So that's actually, we could give temporary permission to the state to put the pipe in, but then I want the right of way back here once they're done, and I want to be able to drive over that to get into the side of that hill. And I don't want them to take up to there when they could just do a short slope, take out a little dirt there, and then just slope that back and put the right of way right here. Pipe. Or just even a pipe right there if it's last resort. Because we got a pocket that is a problem right there. There's the side of the driveway coming in.